Hello and welcome. Before we get started with today's tattoo-inspired cookies, I'm going to give you a little news update. In the first bit of news, I have, along with these talented ladies, Elizabeth, who is Artie Magoo, Hanny of Haniella, Amber of Sweet Ams. We've all been nominated as finalists for Cookie Educator of the Year for 2014. I'll have the link to this post in the description box. Something new to Montreal Confections on YouTube. I'll be making a monthly fan photo video. Please send me your photos. You'll find the details in the description box to participate. I don't really know how this idea started, but I've just grown to love my candy corn cutter. Here are some of my past creations. And for Valentine's Day, I've created this fun tattoo-inspired heart. The first step to this project is I'm painting on some runny icing onto the surface of the cookie. This will give me a nice smooth surface to airbrush on. Before you can move on to the next step, you have to make sure your cookie surface is completely dry. Here I've cut out the whole template and I'm laying that on the cookie, holding it down with the mesh in the tension hoop, and then I'm just airbrushing the outer perimeter, and this will transfer the image. Now, a second stencil. In this one, I've only cut out the areas that I want to be blue, and that brown first area helps me line up the second stencil, as the same here with the third, where I've only cut out the leaf and I'm airbrushing only the green section. To the icing, I've got some black icing with a 1.5 tip. Before I started, I did a little brown line using my template to make sure that my heart would be perfectly symmetrical. I'm using my airbrush lines as a guide to pipe my black outlines. Since I drew this, it's obviously easy for me to come in with my icing, but if you're not that great at drawing, you can use a projector or trace your lines out by cutting out the template a bit at a time. I'm filling in the center of the flower with some yellow icing. Now for the heart, I'm using a color called Claret. It is by Rainbow Dust. I find it looks a little bit more tattoo-ish than just red. In the upper corner, I've added a flower. I'm going to flood the petals with some light pink icing. Now I'm grabbing my black icing once again, and I'm finishing outlining the ribbon that drapes in front of the actual heart. And I'm using the little bits of blue there on the edge as a guide as to where to pipe. Now, if you have a projector, this will make it a little bit easier, but it really wasn't that difficult using those little guides. I had tried to fill the ribbon without letting the pink dry, and it caused my pink icing to kind of crackle. And so I suggest you wait for it to dry a little bit, and then you can come in with some white icing and flood the ribbon area. And make sure it's relatively thick because it's not completely flat. It's going, on top of the heart and then lower at the sides. The last touch, I'm adding the word love across the top portion of my ribbon. And that's it, we're done. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and I'll see you next time.